I, 37 male, was in a seemingly perfect relationship with my wife, 35 female, of 3 years. Despite the usual ups and downs, she stood out to me because of her kindness, sweetness, and caring nature. However, last year it came to light that she had been spending time at a coworker's place. The said coworker is a divorced guy with 2 children under 5. When it first came to light, she tried to bullshit her way out of it by lying, gaslighting, and manipulation. But I found support in this sub, and as of today, our divorce is ongoing. We had been together for a decade at that point, and she threw it all away for a single dad who, by the way, divorced because he cheated. Before I discovered the affair, I had noticed a shift in her behavior. She seemed less interested in spending time together, became grumpy whenever I wanted to hang out with her, and sometimes lashed out at me too. When I asked her about our relationship, she'd brush my concerns aside. This continued for a couple of months until AP's ex-wife reached out to me and exposed their deal. Despite some attempts at reconciliation and therapy, she continued to communicate with the other man behind my back. When I learned this, I dropped trying to play nice and filed for divorce. She flipped out and said I was ruining her life. Well, no shit, Sherlock. The final days of our marriage were particularly rough for me, and I hit rock bottom emotionally. Thankfully, with the support of my family and this subreddit, I sought therapy and made significant progress in healing. Now I'm back on my feet, focusing on bettering myself and feeling positive about the future. Edit. She had no remorse, just some guilt over getting caught and not getting to continue on her terms. I attempted reconciliation just to make her parents happy, who I have a close relationship with. My greatest regret about this divorce is losing them. Update. I made a post close to 3 years ago on this subreddit. I divorced my wife due to her infidelity. Since then, I've been living my best life. I worked out, lost 30 pounds, got abs, got a promotion at my job, and am now dating a nice girl whom I intend to propose to soon. I wanted to make this post to update this sub about something amazing that happened recently. My ex-wife reached out to me in February and asked to move herself and her family, aka her AP. They're married now. AP's 2 kids and her 3 months old into my rental house. She said finances are tight since there's 3 kids now and they're downsizing. Last Sunday, we signed the agreement and now the family is living in my rental and paying me to keep their affair afloat. She now lives in the same rental house she used to collect revenue from, with 3 kids, 2 of which aren't even hers. We had a 4-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood which we sold during the divorce. I have since bought a nice house with a big backyard and an amazing lake view, albeit a bit distant from the lake. I've upgraded. She downgraded right down to the poverty line. I might be a petty arsehole, but I feel pretty content in how things turned out. Edit. Rental house wasn't a property of our marriage. It was my maternal grandma's house. We used the income to go on vacations frequently. So she didn't actually collect its revenue. More like used it through me. Story 2. My GF is unemployed and occasionally goes out weeknights with her girlfriends in a major city by me. We've been dating 4.5 years and living together for 4. Her email alerts come through on our shared iPad, and I saw that she took an Uber ride, and it looks like she dropped her friends off as well because the Uber route passes their homes and was dropped off outside of my apartment at 2 a.m. I received the alert afterward and became suspicious. I can use Find My iPhone on our iPad and I can see that her phone is close by, about 4 blocks away on the same street. Uber says she was dropped off here. Where I live, it's all dense apartments and I can't just walk over there to see what's up. It's likely there are several apartments in the building where the GPS says she is. And the GPS could also be off by a building or 2 on either, say, front or back. I'm freaking out. I've called and texted beginning at 4:45 a.m. with no reply. I've called each of her girlfriends twice and no one has picked up. I'm so worried. Is she okay? Is she cheating? Seriously, guys, any advice right now would be really helpful to me. My heart is beating out of my chest. Do I call her more? Do I wait? Do I call the police? Okay, so here's the update. Her friend called me at 9 a.m. and sounded frantic. OMG, your GF came back to my place last night and just fell asleep. We both got really drunk. So sorry that no one called or texted you, but I knew this was a lie. because this friend's apartment is nowhere near the apartment 4 blocks up the road from me. I have no idea whose apartment this is. I said that's okay and asked to speak to my girlfriend, but was told I couldn't because she just left. Typically, it should take about 20 minutes to get from friend's apartment to my apartment. More than an hour goes by and still no girlfriend. I decided to call her, and I could hear that beep at the end of her ringtone, signaling to me that she's on the other line with someone. I watched her on Find My iPhone leave the mystery apartment, stop on a street corner for about 15 minutes, then proceed to walk a different route. What she was doing was buying some groceries. So when she finally did walk in at 10:15 a.m., her excuse was, "Sorry, the shuttle was super slow today. Plus, he stopped to get some fresh fruit." No apology or anything. She's acting like I'm a psychopath for caring where she had been all night, even though it's uncharacteristic for her to stay out all night. In fact, she usually calls me or texts me when she's on her way home from the city. Okay, so we go inside and I say, "Tell me about your night." She goes, "We just went to the club, that's it." I asked if they stayed there all night and she told me that she stayed there pretty late. This is another lie. Uber says she was picked up from the club at 1:50 a.m. and clubs here close at 4 a.m. On a typical night, she'll come home between 3 to 4 a.m. So I asked if they went anywhere else. No, we were pretty drunk, so we went straight from the club to my friend's apartment. When I got there, I passed out on the couch. This makes absolutely no sense, because the Uber receipt states clearly that she was dropped off at my apartment. At this point, I say to her, "Are you sure you've been telling me everything?" And she gets heated. "Fuck you, I already have a father and an overprotective brother. Why the fuck can't I just go out with my friends for one night without you all over my ass about it?" Note: she goes out with her friends alone 2 to 3 nights a week, and I let that happen. It's not like she doesn't constantly go out with them. At this point, I tell her about the Uber ride receipt and show her screenshots of the Find My iPhone application. I show her a journal of the things I attempted to do to get in touch with her and explained how worried I was. The response? "Fuck you! Why the fuck are you accusing me of shit? I constantly try to tag myself on Facebook and it shows up at the wrong location. My phone is all fucked up anyway. I'm not lying, I went to the friend's apartment." Okay, so why does Uber have confirmation that you were dropped off here? And this is where the story breaks apart. Well, we dropped all of the girls off at the apartment first, then Uber took me here. But I couldn't find the apartment keys anywhere, so rather than calling you and waking you up or ringing the buzzer to get in, I decided to just walk to the friend's apartment. Bullshit. She was in a simple club outfit with no jacket. It was 14 degrees last night. The streets and sidewalks here are literally sheets of ice. There's no way she walked a 35-minute walk at 2 a.m. in 6-inch heels. In those conditions? Through the ghetto? In 13 degrees? No chance. She tells me I'm an asshole and needs to believe her. She tells me she's telling the truth. She even says, "Check my phone." And miraculously, there was no call log of whoever she was speaking with from around 9:45 a.m. when I tried calling, and there's a full text convo of her speaking with her friend about how they spent the night at friend's apartment. Mind you, these texts are all sent during the time period where I see her on Find My iPhone leave the apartment and hang out on a random corner. These girls were straight plotting. I calmly told her that I'm not buying it and that I'm ending the relationship immediately. I packed a large bag in front of her with my clothing, laptop, and am leaving within the next half hour. She's basically pretending this isn't happening. She's acting cool about it. She's just saying in normal speaking voice, "Well, if this is what you want to do, I won't stop you." So that's that. I think that she thinks I'm going to bitch out at the last moment and stay. I think she thinks she can push the limits and win. I'm not wrong, right? If Find My iPhone says you're up the block, don't tell me you stayed in a 10-minute car ride away. The GPS is not inaccurate. This is fucking reliable science. I don't know what will happen to me from here on out. I've got a 6-month expensive gym membership I need to deal with. We had a mountain trip and Florida trip planned within the next 30 days. Plus, all of our friends overlap. In any case, I don't know if she cheated, but I'm 99.999% certain that she stayed somewhere else and is actively trying to cover it up. She's actually trying to place the blame on me for being possessive, what's called a psycho and a stalker, and she's acting like it doesn't even matter if I leave. If you've got no criticism or kind word for me as I start my new life, please comment. I'll come back on once I get to my parents' house later this afternoon. My plan is to live there until I can figure out new living accommodations. Finally, thank you all for the advice and tremendous amount of support this AM. I was in a really bad place and don't know what I would have done without subreddit relationships. I felt like I was having a panic attack. Thank you all, from the bottom of my heart. This is why men shouldn't take on dead weight. She was unemployed but had no problem bar hopping 2 to 3 times a week with OP's money. And top of that, she had the audacity to cheat and lie to OP's face. The whole group of women are toxic, manipulative liars. Good riddance.